Call this meeting of the County Commissioners to order. Please join us for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. We'll start out with the approval of the minutes of our January 18 meeting. Is there any additions or corrections to the minutes?
Move to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion by Dale, second by Tracy to approve the minutes of the January 18 meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane. Okay, first up, Ryan Siggers is here from the Probation Department with a 144. Ryan?
Afternoon, everyone. We've had a lot of hiring lately, and one of the spots we needed to fill was a Community Correction Liaison Administrative Assistant. It's a grant-paid position, and we've hired, or would like to hire Mrs. Carrie Ruff. She seems very well suited for the position, and we all really like her. So I'd like to seek approval for her hiring.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to approve the 144 request to hire Carrie Ruff at the Probation Department. Is there any further questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane. Ryan, will she be able to work with you?
She's going to try her hardest.
Okay. Okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay, well, thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Thanks.
Health Department, Matt Shirk is here with a,
I've got a couple different files. I'll start, I'll pass them both out right now. Brought a 144 request for the grant position and the information on the pickup truck. So I'll go over that with you in a second.
Thank you.
There's the second. Make sure I give you that also. I brought a 144 for the new position that's being funded through a grant through the CDC. I have attached all the grant information, a copy of the 144 and a copy of the resume of the person that I'd like to hire for the position. She is overqualified, perfect for the position. Thinks she would do a great job with the position. And then, like I said, I also attached the attachment information on what is required by the state for the grant to do the job, and the funding information as well. So.
okay, Matt, on this grant, now, the grant has already been approved, right?
Correct.
Okay, now there was some, I know here recently there's been some discussion back and forth on the amount the grant is worth.
Right.
At first it was thought it was $110,000 over a 2-year
Right.
period.
And then when I went back through the paperwork, I found where that was clarified where it is per year.
Okay.
So that really makes it much more appealing and covers all the costs associated with the employee.
Yeah.
It's more than enough to cover all the expenses of adding the employee, and also there should be money available as well for any other expenses, office expenses and stuff like that. So it is a quarterly reimbursable grant, so it shows each quarter we can apply for 25% of the grant. The first 25% is available as soon as we execute the contract, which means we can go ahead and get 25% of the funding now. The second 25% is available once we hire somebody, so if we hire somebody, we can get the second 25% right then. Then deliverable 3 will be completing the school assessment, and deliverable 4 will be reporting. So they're easily met deliverables, and we should make the funding all help if it's not available right away.
For the benefit of those that listen at home, would you mind giving a kind of a brief overview of what this school liaison position would be doing?
Sure. Outlined in the attachment from the state is the additional responsibilities and suggested activities for the school liaison. One would be to provide hands-on care and support in the school districts to ensure COVID-19 mitigation and control efforts are achieved. That's just basically working with the school to make sure their plans are good, that they're doing whatever it takes to keep COVID numbers down. The schools have been really good at that so far, so should just be working hand in hand with them. Second would be support the school district by coordinating initiatives to identify needs. So they would work with the schools to identify where they need goods or PPE or assessments or anything like that, so they'd be working with the school. Third is the ensure COVID-19 vaccines are available for students. Now this says they can set them up in schools, but we wouldn't be doing that. That says in that if we have a clinic available here at the health department, that would be all they would need. So we would have COVID-19 vaccines available at the health department, which we are already doing. So there's not going to be any going into the schools and saying, here's, COVID-19, come get your shot. We don't give shots to any students or minors without a parent's consent anyway. So we will have the COVID vaccine clinics in the health department. The contact tracing and support would be the item 5 for the new position. So the schools are currently doing this, and we just continue to work with them to make sure they're getting that taken care of. And then the final part of the position would be public health education. So work with the State Department of Health just to educate. So that is the responsibilities of the grant.
Okay, so then this liaison from your office or your department would work directly with the school nurse's office.
Mm-hmm.
And would that would include all schools in the county, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, the school district, even private schools, we would also work with private schools as well. So,
Okay.
as we do already at the health department. And like I said, anything we'd be doing at the school would be if they wanted the assistance. So we can't force anything on them. So we're offer assistance.
Does the school administration know yet that this service is going to be available?
They're aware of the position, but then if I got it hired, I was going to send clarification exactly what I shared with you to them. And then also we have talked with, I think some of my staff have talked with the nursing department out there, but like I said, I haven't sent everything to the administration yet.
Okay.
I want to get the position hired before I said I could do anything. So I didn't want to offer services I couldn't provide.
Yeah, I understand that.
And it's a great opportunity to get additional help with the health department with no cost to the county, and provide the additional services for the community and work towards our goals of the health department to make Connersville a healthier and better community. So.
Sure. Dale, you or Tracy have anything from Matt on this?
Will they be based in your office downstairs, or will they be out at one of the schools?
In our office.
All right, now, they probably know how to, the person taking this position is going to be trained to know how to coordinate these things pertaining particularly to the COVID?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, the school's already doing they're already doing this, so this one negative to this position is we all wish it would have came out a year ago, but the additional support and training and stuff like that is something that we can definitely use. So should be doing some on-the-job learning, and then my staff that I have now is going to help in anything else that has to be learned. Then we've always had a good relationship with the schools, so I anticipate a good working relationship with the schools.
I'll move to approve the 144. Mrs. Gibbs.
Yeah, I'll second that for the hire for the liaison.
Okay. We have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to approve the 144 request for the county health department to hire a school liaison registered nurse. And you're going to have to help me here, Matt. How do you pronounce her first name?
Let me read it too. It's Takoyama, as I understand. They just call her T. So
Okay.
Takoyama, I believe. So, and if I got that wrong, I apologize.
Well,
I called her Tacoma the first day, and that was wrong. So,
that's what
That's what I thought too.
that was the first thing that came to my mind too.
yeah,
For now, I'll just call her Mrs. Gibbs.
right. Correct.
Okay.
But it is my understanding that as a full-time employee, she'd be eligible for the sick days and vacation and stuff like that. But I do understand the grant will pay for all that, though, as far as the
Okay.
funds.
Can you say that again?
She would be. We would be hiring her as a full-time employee, correct? But she'd be a salaried position and then eligible for after 6 months for the sick days and vacation.
Like holidays,
Yeah.
insurance.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
as long as there's enough money in this grant
Right.
to cover all those
Okay.
expenses.
Yeah,
Sure.
the grant would be, it'd be all grant funded, so
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify that it was a
Yeah.
position.
It'd be per the handbook then.
Okay,
All
yeah.
the-
And that,
So it'd be basically she would be a county employee.
yeah. The amount of funding there was key to that
Mhm.
question.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane. Okay, that takes care of that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Now, on your
Now I attached
truck,
the funding letter from the State Department of Health that allows us, that approves the carryover fund usage. And then I showed on the second page what the carryover funds, what we requested. So that would be the $34,900 was approved. And then after that, I attached quotes that I received. I got quotes from Larkin Ford, Friedman Dodge, and Hubler Chevrolet in Rushville for vehicles. The quote at Larkin Ford was what I feel was the best quote. So I just spoke to Ronnie up there at Fleet Sales, and the truck is available for the county to purchase. So the funds are there and approved if you would approve the purchase of the vehicle.
okay, so the vehicle's still available?
Mhm.
Okay, good. Well, the quote from Larkin Ford was the only one that's within the range of the funds that you have available.
Yeah, plus the other quotes came along with, I don't know when we can get it, but here's a quote. So,
Yeah.
so that was the bad thing. They were higher priced and not available, so.
So is it the 32 that's highlighted, or is it the one that says under that, the 31.9?
The 31.9 was last year, if we got the price before December 31st, so.
Oh, I see
Yeah.
31.22
Yeah.
on there, so it's
Yeah,
just a
so
typo. Or, is that right?
Oh, 31.22. Yeah, I don't know, I'll have to double check that because
Yeah.
that should have
It
been.
does say 22
I
on there.
believe it should have said 21
Okay.
because they quoted this in December. So I'll shoot for that price.
There's
$500.
$500 difference there. I might add too, if we approve this does not include a trade-in, and the vehicle that the health department is currently using could be reassigned to another department that really needs an upgraded vehicle. I think that fellow's.
I did say, like I said, the current truck we have runs good, drives good. Other than it does need tires and alignment. So other than that, it's going to be a good truck for build. So,
I'll move to approve the purchase from Larkin for 32 Ford.
Oh, did you say it in there?
For the 32 Ford.
Oh, okay. What about the other price we saw?
At least that was last year's.
yeah.
Okay.
I do believe it was last year.
Okay.
So that's the way it was quoted in December. So.
I'll second that, purchase of the Larkin Greenwood Ford estimate, pending on that clarification there for that price at $32,400.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I'll contact her and see if I can get that other price. Over the $500 still.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, or motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to approve the purchase of a new vehicle from Larkin Greenwood Ford for $32,400 or $31,900, whichever you can get. Okay.
Yep.
Any further questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jim.
Thank you
Do
very
you
much.
have anything else, Matt?
No, I mean, I can give you a little bit of an update on our COVID status. Last week, we were having highs of 113 to 120 positives per day. This week, we jumped down into the 50s, and actually today was down to 25. So hopefully that's a sign that the COVID variant is going through. So at least this spike, hopefully we're on a downward trend. It's not a guarantee, but it's what we're seeing in our office is some lower numbers. So that's a positive for that aspect of it. So,
Certainly does seem to be getting better instead of worse.
I hope so. Yeah, we're still providing vaccines, scheduling through online through coronavirus.in or scheduling.coronavirus.in.gov. We're giving shots on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They are allowing for additional booster shots now. So we're doing booster shots. We're doing quite a bit of boosters. Anybody wants to get a booster. And we're also doing our testing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday in the parking lot. So you schedule your test and we'll come out to your car and test you. There is a shortage currently on rapid tests, so we're being pretty stingy with our rapids. They are most effective or most give the best results to people that are actually have symptoms. So if you haven't had symptoms, we're probably not going to give you a rapid test, because if you don't have symptoms, it's probably not going to show up as positive on a rapid. Good news is our PCRs are coming back now in 48 hours, so it's not near the delay that we were getting when it got really bad, where it was taking 3 or 4 days. So we're getting the PCR test results back quickly, and we're running as well as could be. So that's it for me, unless there's any questions.
Okay. Got anything for Matt? Okay, thanks for coming in, Matt.
Thank you.
Okay. Bill Mackey, do you have anything for us?
What I've got is a supplemental agreement on our countywide bridge inspection. What's happened, Federal Highway Administration and NDOT has created new load rating requirements, and what this is, USI, who does our countywide bridge inspections, of course they need to be paid for all this extra work, which I'm assuming we'll get 80% reimbursement, but in order to, it's going to cost $28,000 just because of all the extra time. They're going to have to do calculations and stuff for these new load systems that Federal Highway wants, and what we need all three of you to sign it back and then Jane to attest to it, and that way NDOT, I heard about last December, my NDOT program manager told me that it was coming down the line, so they figured out what it was going to cost. So, but it's in the middle of the bridge inspection, so this has to be additional. Now, in 2 years, when we go to our next line, it'll all be an initial contract. But right now, they want to get it started, so anybody that's got phase 2, which we've got phase 2 coming up this year, which is all 87 bridges are inspected, they want these new load ratings. You can see on those calculations on that one, this is what it used to cost per bridge to do calculations. Now it's going to cost that per bridge, just because all the calculations for the new load system almost more than double what it would normally cost what they're doing now. But Federal Highway, they send us all the money, they're paying for it. So hopefully, like I said, we'll get 80% of that $28,000 back. It'll cost us $5,000 or $6,000.
Is that for all bridges?
All 87. This is the phase we're doing this year, just in the blue. Normally it would have cost, what'd that say, $216 per bridge. Now it's going to cost $540. So when they'll do this, it's this phase and phase 1. Phase 1 and phase 2 is when they do all the bridges. The other phases are just the 12 and the underwater that are more in danger or in worse shape. But yeah, they did, yeah. So that's basically, so we have to have this agreement with USI so they won't start. Our compliance month is September, but all this has to be in line and everything before our compliance month when they come back in and start inspecting the bridges again. But yeah, the last page is where all three of you will need to sign and Jane will need to attest it.
Okay, which, is this for all 89 bridges?
Oh, 87.
87.
Yeah, that's why, yeah, an extra, yeah, $300 some per bridge for 87. That's where the 28 comes up. It's just whatever time it's going to take to calculate all these new load ratings Federal Highway Administration wants. So every county's got to do it if you want federal funding. We don't have a choice.
Yeah, so this is a requirement from the...
Yeah, that's just a supplement to the original contract.
I'll let Dale and Tracy look that over. How do they justify raising the price of their inspections that much?
Well, like I said, it's just the new requirements that Federal Highway Administration's, and NDOT both told them that it's a new rating system evidently they want. It's just going to take more time and calculations to do this part. I'm not sure exactly what all involves, but it's just what they're requiring now, or going to require. So.
Do we have any underwater inspections?
We have, yeah, we'll have the Waterloo Bridge and Knolltown Bridge. They do those. Yeah, we have those two. They don't do the state bridge. State NDOT does those themselves, but we've got those two up there, down in Old Town and Waterloo.
So is that figured into the 87, or is that?
I'm not sure, it might be involved in the underwater probably, because the other phases are just the 12.
So the Veterans Memorial Bridge
Or
would
are
be,
they, yeah, Veterans Memorial too, there's
that
three.
would qualify as
Yeah,
underwater.
there's three,
too.
yeah, there's three of them. They only do those once every 4 years. So I'm not sure which phase they do them in, but the underwater's only done every 4 years. That's just something like that, we want. This is more safety. I mean, you know, looking at that bridge over Pittsburgh falling
Yeah.
in, you know?
Yeah,
It's just, Federal Highway Administration, they just, you know, want more oversight and everything. And every state in the union will have to do it, they want that funds.
well, these bridge inspections always turns up things that we didn't know existed.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's important to have it done.
Just like our small structure, I had done in 2019, look how many things in Leo done all those.
Right,
We had to close 4 or 5 right away,
yeah.
fix them. And there's still a lot of stuff I've got to get done on that list. Just money, you know. They don't have, you know, Hume Bridge is not enough money. And this, and Bridge 90 is going February 9th, so next Wednesday, I don't know when NDOT will notify me, but they should, yeah, that's when all the bids are due in, and they're gonna let it next Wednesday, so I'll find out how much Bridge 90 is gonna cost, hopefully, next week. Y'all wanna sign that, and email to you, sign, Friday or not?
Make a motion that we accept this supplemental agreement from the, between USI Consultants and Fayette County Board of Commissioners.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Tracy, second by Dale to approve the contract, a supplemental agreement to the USI Bridge Inspection Contract. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane. We'll sign this, and Jane, you'll need to sign it too, and you'll no doubt want to keep a copy of it.
Yeah, I'll do that, by the way. Send it on.
Are they based out in Indianapolis?
Pardon me?
Are they based out of Indianapolis?
USI is, yeah. Most firms are. Yeah, both of them are, yeah. Thank you. That's all I have. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Anyone else have anything for Bill? Okay, thanks, Bill. Bill McDaniel's here. Bill, do you have anything for us today?
Yeah, I do. It's just to give you an update on my phone conversations with other people who use iWork. And so far I've had an opportunity to make arrangements. So I was able to speak with one of the people. It's Steve Niblick from Upend. He's the planning director in Tipton County. So he said they've had it for about 3 or 4 years. All in all, they're happy with it. They aren't doing quite as many things as we hope to do with WTH. But when I described the different things that we are looking to do, he said, yeah, there shouldn't be any problem with WTH. So as far as the permits, what they have also is, for example, is they do have a small tablet for their building inspector. So when he does go on the site, he can do his inspections using that, and then the photographs. And they don't actually directly email the contractor and the property owner, but you can. But it's uploaded automatically to into the iWork system. And so which means that all the photographs, all the inspection results, someone makes an inspection, we've completed the inspection, all of those things are going in the record. So electronically, it's taking care of a lot of the things that right now need to do by hand, or things that could stand to be done that don't actually get done as readily as they should. So I'm feeling very good about the work so far. And so I think all of you received a copy of the updated contract, which I asked them to send that to everybody a couple of days ago. So you should have received that. And provided we can sign the contract before the end of February, is the actual the one-time cost for the setup. It's going to be rather than the $6,000, it'll be $3,000. But after we get this set up and then we get the contract going, I'll need to ask for an additional to cover the rest of the cost for this year for the actual annual fee, and then whatever else we'll need to cover those. And so, like I said, the cost went up since last year, but we weren't ready to make a decision last year. And so, tentatively, is that like I said, I feel very good about iWork, and I think that we should be able to make that decision then at the next meeting. So then, whatever we need to do to make the arrangements for the contract at the next, I guess we probably have the copy of the contract ready. So at the next meeting, so we can sign the contract, we can contract them, and we can then start making the process to start getting a real permit software.
Okay, well, if you think that you can be ready to have enough to make a recommendation by our next meeting,
I think so, and I will keep you appraised of it,
bring that recommendation in and be prepared to give an explanation of why you feel this company would be better over the other company. And we'll take care of it.
Okay. And, one thing to update is, of course, Jeff and Dale were both at the meeting about with the chickens. And it's it came to the conclusion that really, in order to clear up and specifically give Mr. Rickman, have it clear that he has authority both in the county, is on the one that has to do with the chaining and the leashing and fencing, is change that from cats and dogs to animals, period. So that will then grant out in, say, someplace, whether it's the chickens are running, or someone's not keeping them in place, they're running around. It'll give them the actual authority in places in the county to, and it wouldn't just be dogs, cats, and chickens, but any animal. And then there's a clause in the city animal ordinance, which just needs some clarification, but we don't need to go to the point of actually adopting something in the zoning code. And because what it does is it meets Dave's concerns about, he just wants it clear that he has authority to do this. Did I leave anything out, Jeff? Okay. But so it turned out well with that, and just change out one line in the county ordinance for animals.
Okay, so is the committee work done on that?
The committee work is done.
Okay, so now the APC will, I assume, draw up some sort of amendment or a new ordinance, and then...
Well, since I guess between Mr. West and myself, we can identify exactly what needs to be changed, because it really doesn't need to go through the Area Plan Commission anymore, since it isn't going to require a zoning code amendment. It'll just be, and I'll just get the language. I'll get the location, and I'll help put together the language for what we need on the county side to specifically grant Dave, the animal authority, that entity, that authority. And I think wasn't Wasn't, I think the language that needs to be changed in the city ordinance has to do with, is an antiquated title that they used in the ordinance. Correct. So it's just getting it changed to the current, the current title for the actual, with the animal shelter, for the animal control. So they're both small changes, can be done very easily at both the city and the county levels.
Okay.
What he's saying is that the changes are actually to a county ordinance, not to the APC, not to a planning ordinance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, to county ordinance and then to a city ordinance. Those are both
The
good.
county's share of that is, it's debatable what it really says, but essentially there's argument to be made that it only gives our animal control officer the ability to restrain cats and dogs that are loose, and not somebody's chicken or goat or frog or cow or elk.
And the language in the city ordinance doesn't necessarily have to be the same as the county ordinance.
No. Yeah, since they actually have a large animal ordinance, so it's just and I looked through it in the past, and it's one of those little clauses that's really easy to miss when you're trying to look for authority. Someone else found it, thank goodness, and so we now know where to go. The meeting itself was helpful, because at times you need to, I hate to say it this way, but at times you need people to kind of get up in arms a little bit so you can engage. So I think it was a very fruitful meeting. We had some good conversation.
Bill, you served on that committee.
I'm like Bill, I think the meeting went well. We found out a lot of stuff that needed to be changed on the city and the county's side both. So do we need to make a motion to revisit this ordinance then, or?
Well, what I can do is I can just find the actual where it is in the ordinance, and so just be a matter of amending ordinance, 96- whatever,
Yep.
to then just change out one little bit of language.
Okay.
And I think then keep you appraised of the couple of the big priorities for the Area Plan Commission, of course, is going to be with the solar energy. And then the other one is to, of course, then finish making those little changes to send in the building code ordinance for the city and the county to the state. And the one that's going to take up a fair bit of time is going to be revising the permits. So that'll have they reflect the change in the approach to the permitting fees. Rather than that across-the-board fee that it used to be, but then relating it back to the base fee plus inspections. So working on the actual applications. So once we get going with that, that's also going to consume a pretty fair amount of time also.
Okay, I know that you APC guys have had a lot on your plate
Yep.
for the last year or so, for sure.
Yeah, but we're slowly coming into the 21st century.
Okay. All right, well, Bill, we'll expect to see you at our next meeting then, and perhaps you'll have a recommendation on the software company.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for coming in. EDG Director Dan Parker, do you have anything for us today?
I regret to say that I'm not prepared to speak today, but I will be at another time.
Okay. Well, thanks for stopping by anyhow. Okay, mail. Does anybody have any mail they need to share? Okay, under old business, county attorney, we learned, had an opportunity to take a look at the Burnfield Cemetery property line dispute. Jeff, do you want to report anything to us on that?
Sure. I think there are obviously there's an issue with placement of a building on a parcel that belongs to us. I don't know that there's any harm that's being done to us. So I think essentially you're going to have the decisions in front of you, the way I see it, are you're going to have a couple options to remedy this. One, you could do nothing. Two, you could essentially replat those parcels and give the property where they built the building onto our property, give them that property. The third option, just because I've heard some talk about maybe not wanting to reward behavior such as building on our property without going through the proper channels, a third option that might appease people would be to have a discussion and maybe write a letter stating that while we're not going to give you the parcel, you have some type of assurance that this at this point in time does not cause the county any harm, so there would be no interest in the county at this point in time pursuing any type of avenue or litigation against you to remove that part of the building. And then of course the fourth option would be you could go after him to have him remove the part of the building that is on our property. But I don't know if you guys have been there, but getting to the cemetery is not changed in my opinion. And I don't want to talk too much because this could come into litigation, but I mean, I don't think anybody could argue that it restricts access to the cemetery, which would be our chief concern. Obviously that couldn't happen, but the way the building was, it's just unfortunate. I don't know if that was a planning, if that was something that a permit didn't get obtained, or if a permit did get obtained, if there was not a proper, not a proper survey done or what, but it's one of those unfortunate things that happens. This is not the only building in town that's built on somebody else's property. But those are kind of your options. Legally speaking, I could probably support you in any of those. So that's why you guys get paid the big bucks and get to make the determination on what you want to do.
Okay. So, since this is not, this is the first time we've got a report from you on this.
Sure.
There's no urgency in making a decision right now, is there, would you think?
I can't see that. I know that the property owner would like to have something done, but we didn't create this situation, so I can't see how he's got any harm at this point in time, other than maybe he's got some stress that we could potentially do something. But no, I don't. To answer your question, I guess easily, no, I don't see any urgency necessary.
Okay. So as far as recommendations go, do you have a feel for what the right or wrong thing would be?
Well, I have concerns with handing over property to someone that builds on our property, right? There are concerns. We set precedent. We have issues with what's going to be a fair and equitable cost. It's going to cost you guys some money to even make that transaction happen. To me, I think the more I've thought about this, I'm sure the property owner wants some assurances, and I don't know that you can ever make them a guarantee that a future administration won't want to do something about the issue. But one thing you could do is the letter, I think has some weight. And essentially in that letter we could put something along the lines, at this point in time we do not find that it has any adverse effect towards the county's property. And that kind of gives him some assurances that if it were to go to litigation in the future, at least at one point in time it wasn't causing any harm to anyone, which may or may not be relevant, but at least it gives him some assurances. And it gives him some comfort, but I haven't spoke with the property owner about those options, so I don't know how he'll feel, but that would probably at this point in time that would be my recommendation.
Okay. I've had no discussion with him either since the time that we were all down there and took a look at it. Have either one of you heard from him?
No.
Okay. Well, you want to sit on this for a while and think about it, or you?
I'd like table till at least our next meeting.
Okay.
Get some time to re-talk.
Maybe have him come in and discuss it on the record.
Possibly so, yeah. He was here before. Okay. All right, then I guess that's all we'll need to do on that today. Now do you want you think we want to contact this guy, or you want to just wait and see, or what?
Well, do you think we ought to contact him and see if he can come to the next meeting, and that way we can get everything took care of, and he'd have his answer, we'd have our answer, and we'd be done with it.
Yeah, we could. We can invite him and see if that's what you want to do.
I think that's probably a good idea. It would be, we can make we can know what we are. I don't think there's a lot of questions we would need to ask him because we already know, but I think it would set a good precedence maybe for someone else to know, be very careful.
Yeah. Okay.
To have someone stand here and talk to us about something like that would be good to have on the record that way too. But you said that he's already done that, and I hadn't heard it. But
You make a good point. I think having a record of what we decide to do on this may be very important to someone in the future, So, okay, we'll invite him here in a couple of weeks. Then we'll discuss it with him. Do you have anything else, Jeff?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Well, thanks for that report. Okay, in our new business, we have a proposed contract with North Mechanical Company to replace a previous service contract we had with Johnson Controls. I know you two had copies of this, if you had a chance to take a look at it.
Didn't you say the 11,000 was wrong? That's supposed to be
Yeah, that's a typo. That's, the fellow did send a
That's a corrected version.
corrected version. Jane has it here, where that figure is 17,148. I might mention too that the people that this company employs has been here with us for a long time, servicing and maintaining our HVAC systems and all the equipment that's covered in this contract. So it's nice to have somebody that's familiar with you, watching after all this stuff.
are they comparable in their price with the other company that we used before?
Yeah, I can't recall right now what our contract with Johnson Controls was costing us, but I do know that the last 6 months that we had a contract with them, well, they weren't providing the services. It wasn't keeping their end of the bargain. So we can approve this contract, or think about it for a few days if you want to, or whatever you want to do.
Well, they technically aren't don't have anything that they're doing for us until, looks like April. We missed the January thing for the big stuff, I guess. So, I don't know if that, and we missed the January for the boilers, right? I think we understood that.
I don't know why they choose the different months for the different items. There must be some reason for it, but I've never asked that many questions about it. Now, there's January, April, June is an awful busy month for them for some reason or another, and August, October, and November.
And maybe based on us not having someone for quite a while doing anything, would they be willing to, I kind of would like to ask them to consider coming in before April, doing a type of assessment on everything and seeing that we're okay on all these things.
Well, the company rep that has signed this agreement is here on a regular basis
I see.
already.
Mm-hmm.
And he's constantly across the street there. And you may have seen the other fellow, what's his name, Devin, or it's Devin, ain't it? The guy that we see on the ladder every now and then, working up above the ceiling. He's one of their service techs. But I know that if anything has come up unexpected, they're on it.
They're already here then, so they've
Yeah.
been aware. Okay. That makes sense.
Jeff, you did look this over.
I did.
Find any problem with it?
No.
I'll move to accept North Mechanical's maintenance agreement.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to accept the maintenance agreement with North Mechanical for the sum of $17,148 per year. Is there any further question? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane. We'll, does this require all 3 signatures or just one? I think,
Right there on the front.
yeah, I think just one. Okay. We'll take care of that in a minute. All right. Is Dan Richardson here? Okay. Dan Richardson is here to represent the Peace Lutheran Church. And you need a building permit waiver?
That's what I'm here for. Bill, Leroy and I. Peace Lutheran Church was challenged by the National Lutheran Church Disaster Relief Organization into building, stocking, and distributing emergency relief supplies through a location here in Connersville. Our primary service area is Indiana and Ohio. However, being part of the national organization, the supplies will go wherever they're needed. This last year was a very hard year for them, and to be honest, they just don't have enough storage capacity. So what we're looking for, or what we're doing as part of the church, we're planning to build a 30 by 30 foot pole barn, steel-sided, steel roof barn on the eastern side of our parking lot. to act as a, I'll call it warehouse for disaster relief supplies, which is cleaning kits, blankets, hygiene kits. I'll be honest, it's at Lutheran Church, so we have the Bibles. But we're looking at doing a service for the Lutheran Church, for the areas and those that do happen to need emergency relief. For people down in Kentucky that got hit there at Christmas. And just to help reduce the amount we have to raise to build the shed, we were looking to see if it'd be possible to waive the $270 building permit fee for building the shed.
Okay. Have you talked to Bill McDaniel about a building permit yet?
The discussion's going on with him through Gail. I was informed last night that I had to go to the state get the state approval on the building permit, which I was told I didn't need to do, but now I need to get that going. He is aware of what we're doing. I know that.
Okay.
I'm very positive he was aware because he talked to Gail last night before she called me.
Do you know where that stands, Leroy?
Where, what part?
The Bill McDaniel part.
As far as what Gail told me last night was that informed him that we had to go through the state because it's over 500 square feet. The building's going to be 900 square feet, and anything over 500 square feet has to have the state approval because it's not classified residential; it's classified industrial. And that's the only reason we have to go to the state, is the square footage.
I have the building permit application sitting on my desk at home, and I have about 90% of the drawings ready to submit to whoever I have to submit them to.
And all the stuff has already been ordered, so we have it. So waiting for the weather to get a little bit nicer. So we're figuring this $270 will help us get electricity in there for lights and heating, whatever else we might need, shelves to store stuff on.
Sure. Okay, well, I have no explanation as why you would need to clear this to the state, but that's...
It's because of the 500 square foot limit on industrial projects.
The way it was explained to me, there's two classifications of buildings in, I think, Fayette County, maybe the state.
Yeah,
There's
state.
residential, and everything else is in the other category. And because we're not residential, it falls. But that came from Bill.
Yeah, it's some state law that anything over 500 square feet that's not a house has to get state approval because it's industrial.
Okay.
So, and all it is a storage shed, but I don't know what's industrial about that. I'm not a state representative, so I have no idea. Doesn't make no sense.
All right.
We're mainly looking at the cost of this will help us put in, like I said, put in electricity for lighting, maybe buy some shelves, things like that.
Yeah, well, it sure is a charitable cause, that's for sure.
Well, the building's $38,000.
$30,000 on the bill.
$30,000 for the building.
That includes the concrete pad. And about $500 below 30,000.
But the stuff is gonna be used for everybody. It's not just for Lutheran churches, it's for, whoever needs it.
Okay. You just need the storage space.
They just need a place, because right now the nearest storage area is in Fort Wayne,
No, Ohio.
Ohio.
There's no storage in the state of
They're building
Indiana.
one in Fort Wayne. They're building one in Fort Wayne.
Okay.
We would have, southern Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky.
The several Lutheran churches up in the Fort Wayne area were prime candidate, but they didn't have property available to build a 30 by 30 shed on. We happen to have the property.
Yeah. So this is confined to all the churches that have the Lutheran affiliation?
Nope. Our services, pastors from any faith can request assistance from the Lutheran Church Disaster Relief Fund. Whether it's Catholic, Evangelist, Bikers Church, but any pastor can request assistance from the Lutheran Church Disaster Relief Fund.
Okay.
That was one of the things we clarified at the very beginning, because we didn't want to say, well, we can't give it to you because you're not in the right faith denomination. But it got clarified. It is open. The only catch is the request has to go through a pastor or minister to request the assistance.
Okay. You two want to add anything for this?
Have we given any type of waivers anytime before? I'm not a guess up me that way. I'm curious. That's like, I'll move to permit the waiver fee for the building permit.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy, to grant a waiver to Peace Lutheran Church for pending building permit for storage building on their property on West 3rd Street. Any further question? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane. There you go, Ron, or Dan, and if
I will be contacting St. Paul's Lutheran Church up in Fort Wayne this afternoon. They have an architect on staff that will confirm what's required as far as the state inspection on the building,
okay,
state permit.
well,
But we'll build it according to code, no matter what.
yeah, that's certainly that.
The building crews, the Lutheran churches on eastern half of Indiana, so
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, good luck with your project.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get things finished, so when warm weather comes along, we can get it erected quickly.
Okay.
And there will be an open house for you when it gets done.
Thank you very much. Is there any patron concerns? Dick, you got anything?
Good to see y'all.
Okay. Well, that completes our agenda unless anybody has anything else.
I'll move to pay claims and payroll.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to approve claims and payroll. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
3 ayes, Jane. There's that. Anybody got any weather advice today?
Good enough.
Yeah, stay home.
Yeah, Mike, as everybody knows, we got bad weather. Supposed to be here, probably gonna start tomorrow evening, so be careful. I know that we have all the county's equipment fueled up and ready to go. I know that we're not gonna get everything clean and clear on the schedule that everyone would like, but we're going to do the best we've got with best we can with what we have, and let's hope for the best. Everybody be careful and don't get hurt. Dale, you're going to be working
Tomorrow.
in this, so hope you don't get many calls.
Me too.
Tracy, we'll get to your road whenever we get to it.
I'm gonna stay in.
Yeah, there you go. That's the best thing to do. If there's nothing else,
Move to adjourn.
I'll second that.
we have a motion by Dale, second by Tracy to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you all very much.